Le nuove competenze scendono in campo, ne parliamo con due colleghi, ritrovo con piacere Stefano Agnellini, direttore della rivista
New competencies at play. We have two colleagues, Stefano Agnellini, the editor of the Trattori magazine, and the journalist Mr. Bettini. What do you mean by new competencies at play? This is the title of a meeting that we could finally held face-to-face. Is the last step in a tour, in a virtual tour. We looked at different hot topics in agricultural mechanization and agriculture at large. A tour that lasts for the whole year, about once a month. At these meetings, we tackled different topics related to Agriculture 4.0 and other subjects. We talked about CAP, innovations at play, automation, robotics, artificial intelligence, and you name it. New technologies applied to farming, technologies that are changing super fast. We talked about the ever-changing technology that we need, and we need new competencies and skills to deal with technology, because there are new roles coming up, new devices applied to the machines, sensors, big data, manufacturers offering new methods and new systems that were unthinkable up to a few years ago. Is that right? Yes. In fact, we looked at a very traditional area such as agriculture and farming in connection with technology that was never applied in that way. So talking about new hardware presented in a different language, and now a data sheet has been prepared on data farming and data management. Then Alma Viva is another player. They always worked in the area of agriculture, but they're system integrators. So IT and data management become central in this new world. The challenges faced by agriculture are necessarily dependent on the optimization made possible by new technologies. Maintaining quality while protecting biodiversity. This is a couple of important themes that run throughout our discussions. We're talking about important big technologies. We were discussing this with President Malavolti. A modern farm machine can be compared to racing cars. So how can we explain that to farmers? That's not really easy at all. You need to find a very clear and easy to understand language. Of course, new generations are broad-minded, and some of them are native digital, and they know a lot about IT and new technologies. Communication is important. Well, I think we should look at the digital divide and the generational gap. Young people use technologies in their everyday lives that go well beyond the production means. Some cell phones have computers inside of them that are enormously more powerful than the laptops that we use at work every day. It's a very topical issue, a very good question. This is a challenge we'll have to face and overcome. And that's right. If I'm not wrong, the future of agriculture is technology. Is that right? Yes, you're completely right. This is our main topic today, in our discussion today. The new players that are coming to agriculture and They know a lot about technologies, new technologies, and the ones that are most needed. But communication is of the essence, especially communication to machine manufacturers, first and foremost, and to final users as well. We discussed this topic with farm contractors as well, because, as you know, they are the ones that uses technologies a lot in terms of cropland and number of machines operated. So they don't know a lot about it. They have no training. They get no training at all on new technologies applied to farming. Well, and that's a new job opportunity as well. That's true. And I'd like to be a little bit provocative, if I may, since we're here at Eima among friends. I can say there are many new players coming up in agriculture that cannot be ignored. The added value that they can bring to production. And I think the focus is being shifted away from more traditional kinds of machinery. You need to be able to manage the cloud, manage the data, new technology. That means added value, and new skills and competencies that are necessary must be acquired. Otherwise, other players will come in and will take up a larger share of the pie. Well, let me come to the final topic. You mentioned PSR, and I thought about the cost. What's the cost of this technology? Who's going to be bearing the cost? That's the bet. That's the stake that we have to consider. Tax breaks for Agriculture 4.0 has given much boost to this industry, but this must become structural, cannot be incentive-driven. If there were no such incentives and tax breaks, of course, farmers and farm contractors should take the risk of buying new technologies that they may not know very well, without even knowing whether they'll be able to use them in the future. Farm contractors, for instance, find themselves in front of this dilemma. Yes, it's a much debated issue. Those who propose digital and new technology say that the optimization that can be reached by using new technology is the main trade-off. So you're saving so much money on inputs, for instance, because the current process is so much more disadvantageous and much more expensive that it will you will pay completely for the investment that you make. There will be a return on your investment guaranteed. So we'll be able to talk about it next year with more data in the same place. Of course, we're going through major doubts. Stefano and Daniele, thank you very much for being with us. It's always a pleasure to discuss with great professionals.